Hi, everybody. This is Entrepreneurship 5112. We are going to be discussing Learning Unit 5 in this session, and it's all about the business plan. The previous learning units, Learning Unit 3 and 4, what are about feasibility and viability. Now that you've done your viability study and you've determined that your business idea is a good business, now then is the time to develop your business plan. So, what are the learning outcomes for this unit? It's discussing the purpose and the purpose and principles of a business plan, describing the stakeholders of a business plan. Then we'll need to explain what a business model should cover. Then we're going to describe the components that contribute to the business plan, and then as well as providing a business plan structure, which it's basically the components just put in a structure. And then lastly, providing guidelines for writing a business plan. So, learning unit one, discuss the purpose and principles of a business plan. The primary objective of the business plan is to develop a blueprint to define your business. The plan is a meticulous roadmap to entrepreneurial success, a detailed written document stipulating how you will address all the business activities to exploit the identified business opportunity. And then it's also a planning document that explores and indicates the route to follow into the future, and it's also then a document that you as a entrepreneur should formulate by yourself. So we will go into much more detail on these. So, like we said, it's a blueprint, a flexible planning document, and a plan or a plan that is developed by you as the business plan. So, what do we mean when we say it's a blueprint for the business? The business plan serves exactly the same purpose as an architect's plan, which includes a detailed building schedule with quantities and costs of all the items necessary to complete the work, such as bricks, mortar, wood, steel, and labor. In the same way, the business plan lists all the facets of your proposed business. Where's your business going to be? What are you going to be selling? How much are you going to be selling it for? What people do you need to be in place, etc., etc. And then it's a flexible document. Emphasis of the word flexible, because the business plan is not a static fixed document. It is a dynamic planning instrument that should be updated regularly to take account of changes in the business environment. So they've got examples here of how what changes that can arise. Consumer or customer buying patterns may shift towards healthier eating. Let's say you were a restaurant and all you did was sell the greasiest fast food. But now, if you're finding out that your customers want healthier alternatives, what are you going to do? You're not going to keep them feed. You're not going to keep feeding them, fatty food. You're going to adjust. And when you adjust, you go back to your business plan and you amend it accordingly. And then new competitors may also enter the market. Maybe you were the front runner in terms of the competition. Now somebody's come in and they're doing much better than you. You're going to have to come up with a competitive strategy of what you're going to do. Then comparable products such as organic food and recycling might be used by those competitors, and you then have to change yours. Your suppliers may also change their approach. For example, they don't offer credit, and maybe you used to buy with credit from them, and then it's going to have an impact on your cash flow. So that means you need to take, you know, these changes into account. So, timely adaptation to these changes is the only way for your business to survive. Once there's a change, you need to address it in your business plan and you need to implement the plan accordingly. And then it is a plan that should be developed by the entrepreneur. I cannot stress this enough. The only way to understand your business properly is to develop your own business plan. This is the best way to end up with a unique plan that suits you and your business. And it offers you the opportunity to strategically and operationally think of all the elements of your business. While it is possible to use the services of an external consultant, this may not be as effective, as you may end up with an off the shelf generic product. And that's the last thing you want. Part of you starting your business was because you had this unique idea and you know exactly how you want it to run. So why would you consult somebody else and want somebody else to write this for you? And I think this is one of the great stuff, or the great things about this book and this chapter and this module, the fact that after this, you will be able to develop your own business plan. So, learning unit 2 or learning outcome 2. Describe the stakeholders of a business plan. A secondary objective of the business plan is to acquire finance. And I think this is one of the most popular ones, right? It's not only to plan for your business, but then after you're planning for your business, you need to go help see a financier, for instance, a commercial bank or a financial agency. It could also serve as a marketing document to present to potential investors or venture capitalists. The larger suppliers of raw materials may similarly ask to see the plan. Remember, your supplier might be, supplying you on credit, and they want to know, hey, when I give you this supply, for free, okay, definitely not for free, but on credit, I need to know that you are capable of paying me back. So this business plan, it serves multiple purposes. And other stakeholders or the entire stakeholders could include commercial banks, financing entities like we've discussed, as well as suppliers, as well as private investors, and the last one, employees and management team. Because remember, it's a blueprint of where your business is going, how it's going to go about it, right? Your employees and management definitely need to know where the business is going, because how am I going to do a good job for you if I don't even know what it is that is required from me? So this business plan, multifaceted and so important. Then learning outcome 3, explain what a business model should cover. So, a key component of any sound business plan is the design and formulation of an effective business model. All of the elements of the business model are then translated into the business plan. So, in other words, before you have a business plan, you need to have a business model. And what is this business model and why is it so important? A business model is a clear description of how you and your business will, number one, create value for your customers, right? And then number two, what contributes to the efficiency of your business venture in creating value for customers. So, in other words, in order for you to create value, there must also be efficiencies that you need to put in place. Without efficiencies, it is hard for you to create value. So, the following elements should be included in your business model, and it is advisable to formulate these before you commence with your business plan. So, then what is this business or the value proposition? This section would indicate clearly what you sell or render of value to the customer. It is your unique selling proposition, right? Remember, if you're selling something, you need to make sure there's value in it. If I am your customer and I'm going to take out money from my pocket and put it into your pocket, in exchange, you need to give me something of value, right? Something that is unique, something that is novel, because it also needs to be a unique selling proposition, because remember, you've got competitors, people who are also selling a similar product. So what makes yours stand out versus the competitors? So it also included, it also means how will you differentiate yourself from your competitors, and hence the value proposition. It is also critical to ask and address the following questions. What are you selling? Number one, which is the product description. Then, in selling this product, what problem do we solve for the customers? And that's the key to the value proposition. Because yes, it's easy to say I'm selling, dresses, but what problem are you selling? Do people have problems of not finding dresses, right? What problem are you solving? And that's where the key to the value is, which answers the last question. What value do we create with the offering? And then that value creation is targeted at consumers, and the other things that you need to then address is the channels that you will get the product to the customer through. So how do you get your product to the customer? And then the customer service, and this one is the most underrated and actually is one of the keys for getting competitive advantage. How do you attract new customers? Number one, how do you create loyalty? Because you don't just want a customer who's going to buy once, but you want customers who are going to keep buying and buying and buying from you. And then how do you get them to tell others? We all know that word of mouth is the best advertising. So the minute somebody is impressed with your customer service, they will want to tell somebody about it. And the minute they do that, girl, boy, you are in business. And then the income model, how will your business make your money? And then there's also efficiencies that need to be put in place. We said efficiency is the second one, and efficiency takes into consideration number one, external parties. In this section, you analyze all the external entities that might contribute to the efficiency of your business. And then you've got operational activities. Here, you need to describe all the primary activities, right? For example, your customer orders, deposit payments, design and manufacturing, packaging, distribution, delivery. So, in other words, how your product gets from you to the customers, as well as all the supporting activities such as human resource management and IT support. And then, third, your resources, employees such as human capital, employees, which includes your human capital and example salespeople. Then finance capital. This includes starting and working capital, the raw materials that you will need, intellectual property if you have any, for instance, patents, as well as then technology. And then costing. This means taking into consideration your fixed cost and variable cost. You do want to create cost efficiencies, because if you can spend less to create more, why not do that? Because then the less you spend on your costs, the more you can then translate or transfer that benefit to your customers, and that means that you will then be able to offer cheaper customer products to your customers, and your customers will obviously love you for it. Then learning outcome 4, describe the components that contributes to the business plan. The business plan compiled after the business model is a planning instrument. Ooh, I love that word, instrument, that describes the entrepreneurial process and how the entrepreneur will implement it. The reason why I love the word instrument, an instrument is like a ruler, for instance. What do you need a ruler for? To make things straight, right? And the chances are, okay, fine, now we live in the world of computers, but remember when you were in high school and primary, when you used to use a ruler, every day you would need this ruler. And so it is with the business plan. Imagine a business plan as a ruler to straighten up your path. Okay, I love that analogy. So initially, you would have identified a feasible opportunity in the market environment, and then as discussed and explained in chapter 4, you would then have undertaken a viability study. So you will then say, you know what, this was an awesome idea. It's good enough for me to work out a business plan. And then a viable opportunity therefore precedes the business plan. So a viability study creates the platform for writing the business plan, because in the viability study you are saying, hey, you know what, if I'm doing like the quick calculations, man, here, man, there's an opportunity for me to make money. I've done this, I've done the market research, etc. And now I'm going to go ahead and write the business plan. So it includes number one, identifying and evaluating the opportunity. Here, it's the creation and length of the opportunity, the real and perceived value of the opportunity, which we've just discussed, risks and returns of that opportunity versus personal skills and goals, and then the competitive situation. Then you will go ahead and you develop your business plan, and your business plan will include the title page, the table of contents, the executive summary, description of the business, description of industry, marketing plan, financial plan, production operations plan, organizational plan, and the summary. Yeah, and then you would then determine the resources that are required. But again, this is included in your business plan. This includes your existing resources that you already have available, the resource gaps that you have, and available suppliers, and then access that to the needed resources. And then lastly, managing your enterprise. Now you are running your enterprise, and here you need to take into consideration your management style, the key variables that you need for success. And remember, we talked about those, I think it was in chapter 1, the key variables for an entrepreneur, right? And then identification of problems and potential problems. And I love the word potential, because you're planning for this. You're not just lying down thinking that everything is going to go great, because we know in life nothing ever works out the way we plan it to. And then implementation of control systems. So, how do the various components of a business plan contribute to the business success, right? First of all, there's analysis, synthesis, communication, and action. Analysis, in depth research should be conducted prior to the compilation of the plan. And I think that's where chapter 4 comes in. That's that viability, right? The entrepreneur should, to name a few, gain insight into customer preferences, the capital requirements for starting up, and also trends in the market. All of that will have been done in your viability study. Then the relevant information obtained from this analysis um, or research process feeds into the final business decision making. So after you found out that, you know what, this is a viable idea, I'm gonna then go ahead and implement this decision, right? And this will be conveyed in the business plan. Then you need to communicate, and the business plan communicates this blueprint of the business. So it is literally the outline, right? And financiers, investors, and customers are the people then that you would communicate this idea, this viable idea to, and it should therefore represent a professional document transferring the required message and information to the reader. So, in other words, if you're going to tell somebody about your business, it can't just be like, hey, you know what, I'm starting a business. It's so awesome. People think, the awesome for an investor is different to awesome for you. For you, maybe you've got your heart and mind into it. Maybe you've got kids to impress and they're impressed by the word awesome. But for a financier, if they're going to put in money into your idea, awesome means that you've got a plan of how you're actually going to make this work. And that is what awesome would then for them means. Hence, this business idea is transferring your message in a proper format. And then action. The eventual success of the business is highly dependent on the accurate implementation of the said business plan. If you said you were going to sell fruit and veggies, my sister, my brother, sell your fruit and veggies. This is by far the most difficult part of the entrepreneurial process and asks for a detailed plan that will ease the decision making process in the hard reality of practice. The detailed plan, remember, I described the business plan as your ruler. Every day you go back to your plan, you go back to your ruler, and you let it align you. Then, learning outcome 5, provide a business plan structure. We've discussed that briefly. Number one is the cover page, and the cover page would include your name, well, the name of the business, as well as the address, the nature of the business, a statement of confidentiality, the name of the entrepreneur, and a statement of finance if needed, and that is optional. And then number 2, the executive summary. I know this section is blank, but this is probably the most important page that you have, because once you hand over your business plan to somebody, the first thing they want to see is a synopsis of whether or not this business plan is interesting or not. And 9 times out of 10, financiers and people that are interested in your business go to this page to just get a glimpse of, is this interesting enough for me to then read the whole thing? Remember, a business plan can be something like 50 pages, 100 pages. It all depends. But nobody's going to sit there and really have time to read 100 pages of your life. No, ma'am. You're going to put it in an executive summary, and that summary is so important. And I teach another entrepreneurship module, and in that chapter about the business plan, they actually say that the executive summary is literally a sentence from every one of the sections. So we'll be going through every one of the sections. So you can imagine in the executive summary, all the sections that we're going to be discussing now will be implemented or included in this executive summary. Number one, or in this case, which is number 3, the industry analysis, right? You're going to analyze your industry. This is your current and potential trends that are happening in your industry, the market segmentation. How are the customers, divided? If we're using ice cream, for example, just because you like ice cream, it doesn't mean that you're going to eat every ice cream that you like, that you see, right? Some people like vanilla, some people like cookies and cream. There's different types of segmentations, and that segmentation we also discussed in one of your learning units. I can't remember which one, but we already know what market segmentation is, as well as then your competitive analysis, because that's got a direct implication on your current and potential trends or your customers. And then business description. Here, it includes the background of entrepreneur or the team, your unique selling point, which we've already discussed, that value proposition, as well as your core products and services. Then you're going to have your production plan, and then it includes your operation process, your machinery and equipment, the physical layout and manufacturing facility, if you have it, and your list of suppliers and their core competencies. And then the marketing plan would include your pricing, promotion, distribution, and sales forecast. Then the organizational plan, which is the legal form of ownership. Remember, we talked about different types of ownership, so proprietor versus a Pty, Ltd, etc. Then the management structure and role description, and then the description of the shareholders and members, as well as a background of your managers. It is important because if you have, experts or, specialists that are running your business, it counts in your favor. And then you're going to also include assessment of risks, assessment of your internal weaknesses, your business risks, as well as your market risks. This is an understated section because it's so, yeah, risk is prevalent in a business, and yeah, it needs to be planned for, etc. And then the financial plan includes your projected statement of comprehensive income, your cash flow statements or projected cash flow statements, because you are starting out your business and you are projecting, therefore, what cash flow requirements you have, the sources of finance and the application thereof, your projected statement of financial position, as well as your break-even analysis. And I think we've all done these in the cost in one of the chapters. I can't remember which one, but you know by now what your financial plan entails. And then the addendum includes your appendices. So it's market research information, letters related to the business, contracts and patents, etc. Sometimes you would include your CV, the CVs of your managers. So it's basically any other documents that kind of feeds into and gives strength to everything that you've claimed, and I emphasis on the word claimed, in your business plan. Remember, your business plan is like a claim. You're claiming, hey, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to make this much money. And yeah, the addendum is basically then the document that you will use to support that claim. And then lastly, provide guidelines for writing a business plan. I've seen this question being asked in the exam. Number one, keep the plan respectably short, okay? Not exceeding 50 pages, because who's got time to really read those many pages? Number two, organize and package the plan to engage and guide the reader. So make sure it's got a logical structure, man. Hey, when a person reads it, it must make sense to them. You can't start, let's say you're starting your business plan and then you're like saying, number one, finance. You can't. Like, why would you want to start with the finances? Because the first question is finances to what? What am I financing? What's your product? Okay. And then gear the plan to the future, clearly indicating what you intend to do. Remember, I said it's your claim, right? And you need to support this with a trend analysis and forecasting. And then avoid exaggeration, please. Yes, it's coming from your heart. You've got a passion for this product, but not everybody else has a passion for this product. So when you present it, you need to present the reality. You have a dream of selling dresses and you forecast that you're going to sell 100 dresses in 3 months, right? But the reality is maybe you might only sell 100 dresses in 6 months. So avoid exaggeration. You cannot inflate the potential of the business. You need to be realistic about your sales and revenue estimates. Then highlight the critical risks. Again, this is so underrated and understated in this book and in this chapter. Let me say this chapter because are the risks can come from anywhere. So this shows the reader that you are aware of the potential problems, and it gives you the opportunity to explain how you will manage them. If you say, I'm going to start a business and things are going to go perfect, ma'am, sir, that's not going to happen. You need to say, what are the risks that can come through, and go into how you actually going to mitigate those problems or those risks. And then you need to describe an effective entrepreneurial team. Again, if you have experts and a specialist in what, a coding program, or what, a programmer, and anybody that you've got that can contribute skills and contribute to your business, right? And the overall objectives, you definitely need to put those in place, because you're basically showing the people that are going to finance your business that, look, not only am I trying to start this business, but I've also got the people that I need in place. And then do not over diversify. The plan should focus only on that segment of the market that you identify. If you want to sell dresses, stick to your dresses, my sister. Don't now start including socks. Start with the dresses. Once you sell dresses and you see, okay, I'm successful at this, then maybe you can start thinking about socks. And then identify the target market, most important, because the target market is your customer, and this is the person who's going to give you the money that you said you're going to get, right? So you need to give particulars of your target market and explain how you've performed your market research. So you have determined that, you know what, I went into the market, I found out if they are interested in this product. 100 people out of 200 said yes, so clearly 50% of the market is into this product. I then therefore deem it fit to be pursued as an opportunity. And then keep the plan written in the third person. So don't say I. We. And then capture a reader's interest. Financial institutions receive many requests for funds. Again, that executive summary, make sure that your business plan is interesting, much like a book. 50 pages is a lot to read, guys. If I'm bored in the third page, you're not getting your funding. That's it for this chapter. And in summary, we talked about the business plan. You are now able to draw up your own business plan, and all the best to you. Thank you.